guys, so I finally got enough stuff to show for a pickups video, so it's been a slow grind at the moment. I'm sure everyone's having the same issues with, you know, not much stuff about to buy, not many bargains about, but I've got a few bits, a few retro bits, modern game and some tech, so I thought I'd do the tech first. So this is kind of my little ghetto setup in the kitchen because I've been working from home, so working here and then doing editing on this screen sort of when I've got downtime, and it's been nice actually, because normally I do all my editing on just on the laptop, so I've just got the laptop plugged into the screen here. So this is just one of my screens from the office. Normally have two screens there, so just set up one here. So the device that I've picked up is this, and it's the BenQ screen bar e-reading lamp, and this is like an interesting little thing that goes on the top of the screen here, and you can see it up there, and it just kind of provides a soft ambient light for your sort of workstation. And it's good because if I'm sat editing at night and you don't want sort of lights on and everything, because looking at the screen all day and then looking at it editing in the evening, it's a lot of strain on your eyes, and it has been getting to my eyes. I've noticed my eyes have been really sore in the evenings and everything. What this light does, it just provides a bit of soft light for the area, so you don't need the lights on. It just lights up like your keyboard and computer desk area. So it's quite simple. It just plugs in USB and it fits together. So you've got the bar here, which is the actual light, and it's just got these, like, you know, LED strip light or whatever inside, and then it's got this little mechanism here that's like a counterweight, springy. So you just clip that bit onto your monitor, and then this counterweight just balances it. And I thought it would be a bit dodgy, but it works really well. There you go, so it just sits on there. And you've got 4 buttons, so very simply, that one just turns it off and on. Don't know how well you're going to see it in the daytime. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll overlay how it looks in the evening, because you can see kind of much better how it works when it's dark in here, obviously. So yeah, you've got 4 buttons. So the rightmost button is just off and on. The button next to that is like a intelligent lighting, so it just basically reads the light in the room with a sensor, and then it just adjusts the light to the appropriate level automatically. Then the farmost left button is just the brightness, so there's like 14 or something levels of brightness, so you can just filter between, you know, how bright you actually want it. And then the button next to that is the color temperature, so you can have all these different color temperatures. They've all got weird names, so like, you know, there'll be like a soft blue light or like a warm, like a bulb light, but there's loads of different lights, like color temperatures, so you can just find the one that works for you. But yeah, if I've overlaid that properly, you'll be able to see there that it's pretty cool. It's like, you know, if you're the kind of person like me who uses a computer a lot and edits a lot on the computer, then it's a cool little device. It is quite expensive. I think they're about 90 quid or so, but there is a discount code knocking about, which I will leave in the description, and I'll overlay it here on the video if I can remember. But it gives you some like 13 quid off, and it's valid till the end of this month, end of May, I think. So yeah, like I said, it's quite pricey for what it is, but it is a decent little device, and if you are on the computer all day, all night, then it can really save your eyes some strain. So yeah, that's the BenQ screen bar e-reading lamp. So yeah, let's move upstairs for some gaming pickups. Hi guys, so back upstairs and time for some gaming pickups and some other random bits and bobs. I do have one other tech pickup to show, and that's this little lapel mic I'm wearing, and that is a Rode SmartLav, which I bought with some Patreon money. So I started a Patreon a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago or something. You know, kind of quietly. I only really announced it in one pickups video. But I cancelled the Patreon at the start of all this coronavirus business because, you know, people losing their jobs and stuff and the current climate, and personally I've got, you know, a reasonably good job and it's reasonably safe, so I kind of figured, you know, I felt a bit uncomfortable having a Patreon in the current climate, so I just thought I'd jack it in, maybe forever, maybe not, who knows, but yeah, certainly for the foreseeable future. I know that certain other approaches to Patreon during this time have been made, and some things that I don't really agree with, so it kind of just left a bit of a sour taste for me. Nothing against Patreon at all, you know, I still give to people's Patreons and everything, and I think that if it's done in the right way and not abused, it's fine, but sadly there are people who take advantage. But anyway, I don't want to dwell on that, but I used a little bit of the money that I got, which was, you know, a few quid, and I put it towards this, so paid for the majority of this myself, but put that towards, you know, any Patreon money I did get towards this SmartLav. So I've been after a lapel mic for ages, and Rode mics are really good. I use a Rode mic for, there's a little pouch there that came with it. I use a Rode mic for my shotgun mic up there, on the camera, and I use a Rode mic USB for my voiceovers and stuff, so I know they're a good brand. But anyway, let me know how this sounds. Hopefully it sounds all right. I don't know if it's too far down on my t-shirt or whatever, but we'll see. So yeah, thanks to anyone who did donate towards that and you know, help me grab this mic, so that's awesome. Speaking of the t-shirt, that's another pickup. And this is a new t-shirt from 7 Squared, and as you can see there, if you're a Bitmap Brothers fan on the Amiga, you can see that that is from Xenon 2, and that is Colin's Bargain Basement, and that's the guy who runs the shop in between the levels on Xenon 2, where you buy your upgrades and stuff. Huge Bitmap Brothers fan, as you guys know, I'm sure, and yeah, love that t-shirt. But yeah, 7 Squared, I'll leave a link to their website down in the description. You can get 10% off any of their t-shirts with the code ONARETROTIP if you are after one. So, gaming pickups, we've got a couple of modern bits, or modern-ish, and some toys randomly, so I've been on a little bit of a toy tip at the moment. But we'll start off with the one and only big box game I got, moving on from an Amiga t-shirt to an Amiga game. And that is another copy of Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. Now, you might remember that I picked this up recently. Steve had a spare copy and sorted me out, but it had some very slight defects, and this one popped up on eBay and it is mint. Like, look at the colour on there, absolutely no fading, gorgeous condition box. And yeah, it popped up, I forget how much it was, but I think I put a cheeky offer in it, about 20 quid, and the guy accepted. And it comes with a disc and the little manual, which is it's pretty brief manual. It's got various different languages, but it's got the keys for you know, Commodore 64, Amiga, Atari, Spectrum, Amstrad, all the different versions, because with these big boxes, generally what they do is they just make the box, and it was just a generic box for any version of the game, and then they just put a sticker on saying which version it is. So this sticker indicates that it is the Amiga version. But yeah, love this game, as you know if you have watched my last few pickups. Yeah, one of the arcade ports that I played the most back in the day on the Amiga, and absolutely love it. The music and everything, just great memories of that. So it's nice to get a very minty copy of that in the collection. Then I got a bundle. So I got a bundle off eBay. This guy contacted me, as people do sometimes, saying I've got you know, a load of games that I'm shifting, so PAL and Japanese Mega Drive and some Master System, I think, which I said I wasn't really after any Master System, and Game Boy, so always keen to look at Game Boy stuff. So I have most of the Game Boy games I had as a kid, or I think I have all of the Game Boy games I had as a kid, really nice in box. But there are certain other games that I do have nostalgia for, that I either played a lot through some avenue or other, or friends had them. And I can't really remember where I played them, but the first one is Simpsons Escape from Camp Deadly, so Bart Simpson's Escape from Camp Deadly. Really nice condition, chucked in a box protector with both of these Game Boy games. Really nice nick. Now, I can't remember where I played this, so it must have been a friend had it when I was a kid and I may have borrowed it or whatever, but I really distinctly remember it, and the box art's really nostalgic to me. So I need to stick it in the Game Boy and actually give it a go, and hopefully some more memories will come flooding back. But yeah, it's just a game that really sticks out for me, and it's, yeah, from memory it's like some kind of platform game. But yeah, keen to get back on that. And another one that's a little platform game that's really, really nice game on the Game Boy, and that is Tiny Toons Bab's Big Break, is it called? Yeah, Bab's Big Break, so Tiny Toon Adventures. Another one that the box art's just really nostalgic to me, and I forget which of my friends had this, but one of my friends would have had this, and I would have borrowed it as a kid, or played it a lot around the house as a kid. As you do, you go round friends' houses and you know, they've got a Game Boy or whatever, and you sit there and play it. But yeah, those two that are kind of really nostalgic to me, but I can't quite remember why, if that makes sense. And then I got 3 Mega Drive games off him. So he had some nice big hitters on the Mega Drive, but a lot of them kind of out of the price range that I want to be spending at the moment. So first one I got was a Blue Spine Ren and Stimpy. It is called Ren and Stimpy Show Presents Stimpy's Invention. It looks like some kind of platform game. Never ever played this, so I'll be giving this a go during the next week. But it was good price and really nice condition, complete, nice manual. So yeah, if anyone has played that, let me know if it's any good or if I just bought a duffer. Another classic. Now, part of the reason this came about is I've been looking through the Mega Drive collection and just realizing I have a few holes in it, like games like, you know, Alien Storm, that aren't particularly expensive games, but for some reason I just don't have in the collection. So I've been looking at filling some gaps, and I intend to do that probably mostly through CEX. So I have a big bag of stuff here to trade into CEX when I can actually get to the point where I can go to a CEX and maybe do some boot sale stuff and wheeling and dealing to get some CX credit and build that Mega Drive collection up and fill the gaps. But he had one of the ones that is a gap in my collection, that's Virtua Racing. Absolute classic, again really nice condition. That huge cart there, look, it's absolutely enormous cart on this game. But yeah, iconic game that for some reason I just don't have in my collection. And then the one Japanese game I did buy from him is one that I used to own and I sold about a year or two ago, and then kind of always regretted selling it. I can't remember who I sold it to, it might have been one of you guys, but that is Granada. Cart is a little bit ropey, but manual's nice condition. Overall, it's really nice. So it's styled as X Granada X, so a lot of people misname this as Granada X, but it is actually just Granada, which you can see on the spine there. And this was made by Wolf Team, who made some really good games back in the day. And it's like a top-down tank shooter, so you're just piloting your tank from a top-down perspective and just shooting enemies and what have you, and it's really good fun. It's a really, really good game that's kind of underrated on the Mega Drive, and it was a Japanese exclusive. So 2 modern pickups. First one is a Switch game, and that is The Ninja Saviors Return of the Warriors. Now, Scott Brand recommended this one, and this is kind of like Ninja Warriors on the SNES, but I think they had issues with the licensing on the name, so they had to slightly rename it. And it's very good, gorgeous art style. Yeah, really, really nice graphically, and it's quite good fun to play. I played through the whole game a couple of times, and that end boss, for anyone who's played it, is quite a challenge. It took me about an hour the first time to kill that last boss, and a while to work out what I was supposed to be doing. But yeah, it's really good fun, but I don't think it's got much legs. I think that I'm probably done with it already, so that will probably go in the CEX pile. But one thing that was nice, which is a bit of a change from one game, it had a few bits and bobs inside, so it's like a sticker sheet there as well as the game. Really thick, nice manual, which I mean, it's mostly other languages, but it shows you a little bio of each character and their move set and everything, and then there's a little poster in there as well. So that was quite nice to get all that, and it was only like 20 quid, and I think CEX are giving like something like 18 quid credit at the moment, so it won't cost me much to have played it. I don't think I'm going to keep that one. The other reasonably modern one is a last gen pickup, which was a gift from my mate Steve, who is not a tuber, not a collector or anything, he's just a regular mate, and he has recently moved house, and I guess he was having a clear out, and he had this, and it's a game I used to have, Bioshock 2 on the PS3, and for those of you that watched the channel for many years, going back, you know, a good 4 or 5 years ago when I first started, I was a big collector of the big collector's editions on PS3. Had a huge number of them, sold them all off, but I kept only Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. All the rest went, and this was one of them that went, and I always kind of regretted selling it a little bit. But it's a gorgeous, huge set. Partly the size is due to it containing a 12-inch record, so it's a 12-inch record with a Bioshock orchestral score in there, and also an audio CD in there with the same soundtrack. And then you get some prints and a Bioshock art book, which, you know, really gorgeous stuff. Really chuffed to get that back in the collection, and for a gift, you know, win-win there. So yeah, I know Steve won't be watching this, but cheers, mate. And then a couple of toys I've got. So not many people know this, but years back in the early days of eBay, back then I used to collect action figures, and I had a huge load of Star Wars figures from childhood, like hundreds of them, and vehicles and stuff. And in the early days of eBay, I went on a kind of a spree, and I bought like some Star Wars figures on card, and, you know, mint unopened Turtles and Ghostbusters and He-Man on card and everything. I had quite a decent collection, but I sold them all off years before I started collecting for you know, the retro gaming systems. So yeah, these really appealed to me. So I'm sure most of you have seen these. So Hasbro have issued these retro collection Star Wars figures. So this is wave 1, so they've done a wave of 6 figures, and then wave 2 is coming, it's available on pre-order, another 6 figures. So I only ordered 2 of these because I just don't have the space, and I've got these 2 up on hooks there on the side of the cabinet where the Amiga games go. But yeah, I just picked the 2 that had the most nostalgia, really, that I think are the most iconic. And for me, they're almost always the villains. So we've got Stormtrooper there. And for the most part, they look really like the originals. There's some wear here, like fake wear, and they've got this retro sticker. And there are some slight differences, but, you know, for the untrained eye, they look pretty much bang on. Sorry for the cut there, I had a horrendous coughing fit. And yeah, the other one that was really iconic to me is, of course, Darth Vader. Just remember him so well with like the plasticky PVC cape. Definitely an iconic figure, and the lightsaber where you know, push it out of his wrist and everything. But yeah, really fond memories of the early 80s, spending my pocket money on these figures, and ended up with a huge ton of them. And I had some friends over the road, 3 brothers, and when they got to a certain age, they kind of got too old for the Star Wars figures, and they gave their entire collections to me, all 3 of them. So I ended up with 4 individual collections of Star Wars figures all in one. And I sold them all off about 15 years ago, regrettably, but you know, as you do, that's life. But the only one I kept was, I don't know if you can see him up there, the Boba Fett on the speeder bike up there in the corner. That's my only figure from childhood that I kept, and it's actually the only thing in this entire room that is from my childhood. Everything else has been rebought. So yeah. There are some other figures knocking about, and I've got a couple more on pre-order, but this company called Super 7 is doing some really cool stuff, and I got this Skeletor, Master of the Universe Skeletor. Now He-Man figures is another one from my childhood that are just super iconic. You know, I was 4 or 5 years old getting these. Had loads of them. I had Skeletor and He-Man, and I also had Skeletor and He-Man that had the battle damaged chest. I don't know if you guys remember that, where you'd sort of punch the chest and it would flip to sort of simulate damage. But yeah, these are like really, I'd have to like look at them side by side, but to me they look mint. They look exactly like the ones we had when we were a kid. This one's unpunched, whereas the Star Wars ones came punched. So you do have a little Super 7 logo down there, but other than that, they pretty much seem, you know, bang on to me. And the actual figure, they must use the original molds to do all these, because the figure looks exactly right. He's got the little hand grip for the weapon. There's 2 swords in there in the back, you can see, and even looking now at the swords, they look exactly like the original swords, because I remember so well. You got his staff there with the little ram's head and the little comic or whatever it was that used to come with him behind. But yeah, it's even got the action where you can twist his upper torso and it, like, you know, it snaps back, so you can simulate them punching each other. But yeah, how iconic is that? I mean, that is mint. I think the Star Wars ones were like 13 quid each or something, and this was slightly more. I think this is like 20 quid or something, 25 quid, but it looks amazing. I'm really chuffed with that. But yeah, I did order something, another one off Wave 2 of the Star Wars figures, just due to space. I don't want to be buying them all, but there was one figure that I desperately had to have, and those of you that know the figures that are in Wave 2 probably know which one that is. And then another franchise that Super 7 are doing that are coming out soon, so I'll be showing those soon, but I don't want to do any spoilers. But yeah, I think that's pretty much pickups, guys. So there's a bit of a mix there. There's some tech, some modern, some old, some toys, a little bit of a mixed bag. But it's been an absolute pleasure to be on camera doing a pickups, because you know, it's not quite the same doing the voiceover stuff during this time with the lockdown and everything, and we don't have much social interaction, so it's nice to be able to sort of connect with you through the camera, if that makes sense. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you soon.